Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is a show where I take all of your questions that you have submitted to me. And the best way you can get your questions on this particular show, you can easily just send me an email at static145910@gmail.com. You can also tweet me at Mr. Alex Hampton. That is the best way you can get questions on this particular show. Now that I've gotten out of the way, let's jump it right into the questions. So the first question comes from a Jasmine Jones, and she writes, "Hey Alex, I really like your show Hero TV." Oh, well, thank you, Jasmine. I really appreciate it. It's actually one of my favorite shows here on my YouTube channel. But I was wondering, what are your thoughts about why the DCEU is so destructive? With all the property, what happened to all the properties that they announced with the original plan that they had made a couple years ago? Thanks for taking my question. Well, thank you, Jasmine, for your question. Well, if I'm being 100% honest, it's just there was a lot of changing at the guard at Warner Brothers / DC. I know that there have been people who have been fired. There have been people who have been promoted to different positions. And to be honest, I mentioned this in one of my Hero TV videos, that there's a lot of studio oversight on those particular projects. So there's a lot of things going on in Warner Brothers in their DC division where they're making these obscure projects and they don't really have a set plan. You can really thank the destruction of Batman vs. Superman of that. Batman vs. Superman was supposed to be a $1 billion movie. When that movie did not hit $1 billion, the original plan that they had set up in 2016 or 15 or whenever they set it up basically came tumbling down. They did fulfill the next installments, which were Wonder Woman and Justice League, but you can tell that once those movies were in production and about to come out, the plan that they had laid out long ago, about 2-3 years ago, kind of just started coming down. And Wonder Woman was a big hit. Justice League did okay, but again, that movie didn't even do $1 billion, and that was supposed to be $1 billion movie. And for those who don't know what Jasmine is talking about, Jasmine is referring to that DC decided to make a plan of a slate of, they made a slate of movies of what was supposed to come out in the next few years, which was like a Justice League 2, a Cyborg movie, a Flash movie, a Batman movie, different types of movies that basically serve their universe. Given the fact that most of their movies haven't done well, that plan has kind of changed. You know, the Aquaman movie is going to be coming out in December, so we will see how that does. But for the most part, the reason why the DCU is so destructive is because, one, fans don't really trust it. Two, their movie slates that they had put out didn't really do too well. And again, there's a lot of changing in management. There's a lot of studio oversight on projects. There's a lot of things going on. Too many cooks in the kitchen, and not a lot of people really are feeling a DC property right about now. Like, you can go see a Marvel movie and love it, and you don't even know what the Marvel property is versus a DC movie. So, but thank you for your question, Jasmine. Now I'll go on to the next question from a Brad Washington, who writes, "What do you think about Bill Maher's comments about Stan Lee and comic books?" Well, thank you for your question, Brad. So if you guys don't know, Bill Maher decided to get on his show that he does on, I believe, HBO. I don't really watch his show, but he decided to get on his show and talk about the levels of importancy, or the levels of how comic books are not important, and how Stan's legacy really doesn't mean anything. I'm just paraphrasing what he said, and that's basically what he said a few days ago on his show. And my take on that is that Bill Maher, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm not going to call you out your name, because I'm sure that's what trolls and what people want me to say and do, but you know, you're very wrong. I can only speak for myself. I can't really speak for anybody else. I know for me, if it wasn't for Stan Lee and the people that he worked with at Marvel Comic Books, I'd probably be doing something that involves me doing something bad. Like, I can tell you this, I didn't live in the best neighborhoods growing up. The neighborhoods I lived in weren't necessarily destructive, but there were a lot of people who were influenced by doing different things, bad things like drugs, gangs, that kind of thing. If I didn't have comic books or the cartoon shows that came out because of Stan Lee, then I probably wouldn't be on YouTube right now. I probably wouldn't be doing short films about comic book characters. I probably wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing in terms of the fandom that I'm a part of. So, I mean, look at my shirt. It's a Captain America shirt with a Batman hat. You know, Stan Lee inspired a whole bunch of creatives. He's inspired a lot of, he's created an outlet where that outlet got a lot of people out of bad situations because of the thing that he created. So I disagree with Bill Maher's comments. I would hope before he decides to make a very opinionated statement about something that he would, one, do his research, number one, and number two, just get his head out of his behind and notice and just be real, like look at the numbers of the Marvel movies. That has a lot to do with Stan Lee. It's not just the fact that the movies are great and the Marvel movies are a proven track record, but let's keep in mind, if it wasn't for Stan Lee, there would be no Marvel movies. There would be no Iron Man. There would be no Spider-Man. There would even be no Black Panther. So his comments, I'm sorry, you're very wrong. I would hope you would do your research next time you decide to say something, and also I would encourage you to think before you speak. But thank you for your question, Brad. Now I'm going to go on to the next question from a Steve Taylor, who writes, do you think it's wise that Tyler Perry is killing off the Madea character after so many years? Well, thank you for your question, Steven. The answer is very simple. Yes. I know as a person who, I played the role of Static Shock on my YouTube channel with my short films twice. I don't want to keep playing that character for the rest of my life. I love Static. Static is one of my favorite superheroes, especially one of my favorite Black superheroes. But that is not something that I want to continue playing for the rest of my life. And don't get me wrong, I love Tyler Perry's movies, but some of his Madea movies are very similar to the previous Madea movies that came out. Like even his plays are very reminiscent of the movies. Like there's some of the same writing there from the plays to the movies. So some of his content that he puts out is very, I'm not going to call it redundant or bad, it's very old. And like some of the jokes that Madea does is, you just expect it coming. You know, it's not really all that new. So I am interested to see Madea's Funeral, which comes out later on in 2019. But yes, I think it is wise for him to kill the character and move on to something different. Well, thank you for your question, Steven. And now I'm going to take the last question. And the last question comes from a Miss Stacy Whitlock. And she writes, I know this is an old topic, but what are your thoughts about Monique boycotting Netflix? Okay, you know, I never really talked about that on my YouTube channel. 9 times out of 10, I don't really talk about a lot of Hollywood stuff, but this is what this show is for, to talk about things that happen in media and all different types of stuff. And I chose this question because it's very interesting. I think that Monique boycotting Netflix is the most dumbest thing that she could ever do. I'm sorry. And if you're a Monique fan, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If Monique happens to ever see this video, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm actually a supporter of Monique. I love your comedy. Now, I've listened to the Hot 97 interview with her. I've listened to the interview with her with the Breakfast Club. And after listening to everything, listen, I do think the deal was bad. If I were Netflix, I wouldn't have offered her $500,000. I probably would have offered her maybe $2, maybe $3 million at the most, but not $500,000, because we have to acknowledge that Monique is an icon. She's been in the game for a while. She's been doing this for a little bit. She knows what she's doing in regards to comedy. But I agree with some of the naysayers and even Charlamagne, who says, listen, Monique, you haven't sold out arenas. You haven't sold out theaters. When Kevin Hart was about to come to my city, and he almost sold out that whole Civic Center. Literally, there was like 3-4 seats left, and because of the hurricane, he couldn't make it. Like when I look at Kevin Hart, when I look at Chris Rock, when I look at Dave Chappelle, those guys sell out arenas. When you're Netflix, if I'm a business, right? Because I consider myself a business. If I'm a business, if I'm going to invest in you, I want to know what my return is going to be, right? I'm not going to pay Monique $20 million if I know for a fact you're not going to get me $20 million back in return of people. People are not, for instance, Monique to this day cannot sell out a theater. She can't sell out a civic center. She can't sell out an arena by herself. Now, if it were the Queens of Comedy reuniting, possibly. But since that's not the case, she can't do that by herself. Chris Rock can do that by himself. Dave Chappelle can do that by himself. Kevin Hart sold out a football stadium. Monique can't do that. So I think what she should have did was renegotiate, and I think she should have found some other deals with either like Hulu or Amazon or even HBO or Showtime. But I think that she should have did a better job of going about it. Asking people to boycott Netflix was not wise at all. Listen, most people don't even pay for Netflix. So the fact that you're asking them to boycott Netflix was kind of not wise. But yeah, that's my take on that particular question. Thank you for your question, Stacy. Well, that's my show. Thank you guys for watching Ask Alex. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, please donate to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/brandnewproductions. My name is Alex. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. If you're not a subscriber to Brand New Productions, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page by clicking this button right here. And also, if you want to see all the different content that I'm putting out, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see all the different content that I'll be coming out with, whether it's short films, movie reviews, or any other thing that I'm doing on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have a great day.